Alright, so not a very eventful week. We were starting to chop on SPY, so I had PayPal for my first trade. Very nice breakdown. I like the setup of like a big leg down, then a consolidation trying to go up can't, trying to go up fake breaking can't. Now double shooting starts breaking a relatively clear breakdown area. Yesterday, unfortunately, not a lot of volume motivation coming in, but we do have a generally clear area down to about here. So I thought that we could get some continuation. Pre-market article was 2,500%, so that's very fucking good. I had high hopes for this. Reverse ABCD holding the 9, not even the 20, so that's very nice. We were getting tight, like a bit of a downward channelish situation, although not a lot of action. Quite a lot of ghost candles here. Not the happiest about that. It's open. We broke down. I entered. Used a wider stop. Why? Because of the PM action, and I just didn't really want to get wigged out. I used 1R, I think. Not sure I didn't write it down. I'm pretty sure it was 1R. But at the opening, it was like 350% Marvel, and by the time I exited, it dropped down to like 200. So I think it's a good exit, especially given the double try failure. And yeah, it just goes to show that the setup flopped, even though pre-market and daily I think were looking very fucking great. A bit higher volume on yesterday would have been a better indication of a follow through today, but that's that. NUVB, very monumental volume yesterday. Nice leg that the held up in the top 10-20% of the move. Got quite tight in pre-market, unfortunately not towards the top, but towards the middle. Doesn't matter. Then we kind of like found support in the MAs and VWAPs, not really directional, so not giving a lot of weight to that, but I found that it's nice. We had a bit of a wicked situation, but then started breaking out. It just shut out like very freaking quickly. TNS sped up, but didn't really get a lot of volume. I entered half hour only because we had subpar Arvel. Where was it? Well, the pre-market was 500 to 1,000 somewhere there, and at the open it dropped like 160% pre-break, so not bad. Sorry, not good, but not horrible. And maybe on the actual break it could have increased. It unfortunately didn't. So that was just because it bought way less shares than I intended to. But after like 2-3 minutes of not gaining volume, I should have, I could have cut it. Not should have, but could have. Otherwise, looking like a very neat setup. To be honest, yesterday I could not catch it. I just didn't really think much of it. It wasn't that big of a setup either, in my opinion, for my strategies. The SPI. So this was on the SPY post sell-off day, which was 11:20 when we had good Nvidia earnings and everything. The whole market gapped up, but then couldn't sustain and it just slammed down. So I was thinking of maybe a slower continuation, maybe searching for some stocks that were weaker. For example, ASP, I couldn't really buy up with the markets, and when the market started rolling yesterday, we lost this key level here. Then we had a pretty nice clear area until down to this level. Then the next one's down here. I was playing below this key level or for the break of that. So we're not really looking at this as a breakdown trade, more so just, okay, we're probably losing this key area, so I don't really care about it, and I think we can go lower. Arvel wasn't the best, it was like 200-250%, somewhere in between that. Nice reverse ABCD second CC here. 5 minute, I would have loved for the 9 to be a bit closer, maybe having touched it would have been nice, but it was alright. We had a second wave after so first one failed, second one tried, no, first one was successful, second one tried and failed a bit, but held very nicely on the bottom of these guys. So we held here, then a bit of a retest of the top or the bottom of this, and then we took off. So I think that was pretty darn clean. VPA was nothing special, it was okay. And yeah, I just chickened out. I got it because it didn't work immediately, and SPY started bouncing off of BTC quite strongly at this moment. But we weren't really following SPY, we were definitely weaker. I don't think I should have cut it. I have new rules for cutting now. Then I had bull, pretty similar cutting situation. That being said, daily is just a reverse ABCD but elevated volume yesterday because of the SPY news, or not news, but the SPY sell-off. Same exact situation entered basically at the same time. Second CCE, downtrending channel here, and then breaking down from that as well as the level. Not really a setup that I would generally consider for a breakdown, but with the SPY weakness, I thought I'd give it a try. Not really something I can backtest for, but still something that makes sense a lot in my opinion and resembles my setup a lot. So I did it, nice volume on the breakdown. Not really expecting a big ass volume spike and an instant drop. But for some reason I was kind of expecting that, and as soon as I like moved back into the level I cut it. Also was afraid of SPY here. And I thought that if it breaks down again, then I can just enter with a tighter risk. So could all turn out well. And unfortunately, ASPI set up at the same time as this, so I couldn't re-enter. But the cut wasn't that bad with this hypothesis. So yeah, all in all, not super mad about the cut, but it only would have been valid had I re-entered afterwards. Then targeting, I probably would have caught around the 9 EMA loss, or just the structure, because I think 9 EMA loss would have been a bit better. Not a big follow through, not expecting anything big on a setup like this. So yeah, on ASPI, probably would have trimmed somewhere around here. Maybe once it got going, used a PB high stop. So yeah, that was the week's trades, not a lot. Only one key one that I missed out on, which was Sandisk, which yeah, basically one of the biggest runs in the past few weeks. Very nice, very clean, being sustained for almost like 1, 2, 3, 2.5 months. So that's very nice. Steady up grind, and then a bit of an acceleration that couldn't continue. Flopped, set up a lower high, now got tighter yesterday, and we have a relatively okay bottom, not really clean, but coupled with the higher time frame setup, I think it's quite neat. We're far from 50. We don't really have a lot of support below until about here. So that's very nice for second CC on the 60-minute chart. Now the entry is a bit more tricky. This is also quite nice. To be honest, have a nice little distance from 9. Definitely not parabolic or something. It's just not bad for a bit of a down day. Definitely wouldn't swing this one. So I'm entering somewhere around here, which we already have a reset. Couldn't quite catch up with 15-minute 9, but we did catch up with 5-minute 9 for the first time here, then for the second time here. Very nice, I think, going for the second wave. And we've caught up with 9. The time we consolidated were not the best, but not super bad. We had like 180 compared to a 50. Yeah, so time spent consolidating was quite good. But as for some reason, the 5-minute seems a bit more important. Doesn't matter. So we retested the level and we broke down from here after holding MS. I think that's a pretty cool entry, pretty cool stop loss. And considering the fact that it's had a huge run, quite extended, and we don't have a valid support area for quite well below, I think even this risk makes it worth it. Sounds like 206, probably would have taken partials a bit higher, maybe 2010. That would have given me, so that's about 26, 25. Would have given me a bit more than 2 to 3 hours, somewhere in between that, if I were like really risk averse. Keep in mind that this is also during the SPY sell-off, so that had a huge impact on it. I just want to see where it closed. So it closed down at 195. Jesus, yeah. So given the SPY sell-off, I maybe even could have held it all the way till end of day. So yeah, that was the week. Next week I'm gonna work on managing my trades a lot better. I caught a lot of my winners today. I could have had like plus 5 hours just not cutting the 2 trades that I cut, and I gotta find ways to find better ops because my list is not really great right now. Maybe I should update it every single day. I'm not quite sure about how to go about that yet.